them all in the cage. Just set it right in the middle, I guess. That way the walls kind of help support it.
There we go. That'll give them a little, you know.
Yeah, give them something to perch on. They'll have to go check it out. Yeah, they got to figure out it's not a creature that's going to jump on them and eat them. Girls are in the process right now. They're doing a job for me. Can anybody guess what job that is? They're eating and drinking and being healthy and producing poop. So now I'm adding some fine shavings, working on chicken tractor, because I don't really like this option of this, but the advantage to doing it this way is the litter, the bedding, the used bedding when it's all said and done. Because what happens, you know, in the chicken tractors, wherever that tractor's at is where you're getting your chicken droppings. So there's places you can't put your chicken tractor. So if you have a place where you can put the bedding down, and I know a lot of people all over, they have coops where they clean the flooring and clean it and use it. Well, this being in the barn and it has one of these stall skins on it, then all the liquid stuff drains through, so it does stay drier in here. I actually left some piled in this stall for several months until I was ready to put it out in the garden, and it stayed so dry that it took a while. It dried out so much that it took a while for it to actually really soak up all the moisture out there. And so it took it a little bit, you know, it didn't break down at all sitting in here in a pile. It won't, because it's not hot enough. There's no moisture being added to it. These baby chicks from start to finish. I don't remember if it was a YouTube short or an Instagram reel that I showed the tip about taking the used bedding to put around the bushes. You could do that anywhere. You could use it. I mean, like I said, I've put it in my raised beds out in the garden. This, whatever chicken litter bedding stuff that I get from these girls out of this stall, is probably going to end up in garden number 2, the in-ground. Doing this one-handed definitely takes twice as long. And it kind of gives them something to scratch around in too. They'll kind of mix it up good for me. And then that way, like I said, when we get ready to move them out of here, then, and at this point in time, unless I get a chicken tractor set up, I don't plan on letting them out for as long as they're doing these little peeping sounds. You hear all the little peeps? They're just a baby. So, I'm not putting them out while they're still peeping. Because, number one, I think the dogs not recognizing that they're, you know, that might draw the dogs to them. It definitely would draw other predators to them. They've got plenty of space in here for now. That is one of the good things about a property being set up for horses, because of the fact that you can reuse. You know, we're in the process of transition, and I was like, you know, it's a lot of lumber in here. So I was thinking I could reuse some of the lumber in here by us taking stuff down and then redo how we've got it set up in here. But for right now, we're not even, that would be a maybe in the future. In the meantime, big nice area right here, and it's not needed at this time for one of the horses. I mean, we're trying to get horses totally out of the barn, kick them out of the barn, and not have to come in and be cleaning up the piles. But kind of the downside to that's kind of like with the chickens. You know, if you have them out chicken tractors, then you can only, wherever that tractor's at, is where they're going to be helping fertilize. Where in this setup, especially with adding the fine shavings in there to use as their bedding, it gives them a nice clean spot to be. I can do like some of the other places do, where they just, as the chickens poop on it, you just pile more bedding, you know, get some more bedding in on top of it. And then once they're actually kicked out of the barn here in a couple weeks, then you just come in and you can scoop up all of it and then take it out and put it where you need it, like in the raised beds or in the garden space. Now, if it was fall time, winter time, whatever, and the new garden spot number 2, if it was already set up, we had already used it, whatever, I could actually set them up a tractor in there with, you know, have the little coop, portable, whatever, and just be able to move it around, in our garden spot over there. But I kind of like doing it this way, because that way I don't have to spend as much to amend my raised beds. I'm making my own. That just cuts my cost, you know, when it comes to trying to grow some of our own food, by being able to use stuff like that. And around here they call that chicken litter black gold. So the chicken houses, when they clean them out, that stuff gets piled up, and then they turn around and they put it in their big old spreaders and they spread it out on the hay fields and whatnot, and it does a good job. I'm all about not having to spend so much money on something that I can make myself. Well, I shouldn't say make myself, that I can get the critters to make for me. It's all things you have to take into consideration. You have to figure out what works for you.